Hello and welcome to the chat. Today we will be chatting with our little brother, Emeka Mickey Watson.
Outstanding.
Mickey has been with us since 2018 when he came back to Oklahoma. This was his church, and we are excited to have him here with us. Mickey is pastor's go-to. Anytime something happens, I call my brother. I'll call my brother.
Yep.
So we are excited for your faithfulness and you being a part of our church. So we're just gonna have a chat. Thank you so much for being willing to chat.
You're welcome. No problem.
All right.
I enjoy this.
I'm glad you're here. When have you worked hard and loved every minute of it?
Okay. This question, I have to say, like, anytime growing up, working with my father,
Yeah.
back in the day, I remember we would, back when we were like children, he worked at, he was vice president at Donnie's on the north side. And he would be doing his business, and me and my brothers would be running around in the warehouse, using it as monkey bars, knocking down boxes
Being
and
boys.
doing everything, just being boys. And then when he went on to be a independent for himself, he was doing everything from cutting yards, building trailers, from the ground up, cleaning out houses. The thing I loved about working with him and loved every minute of it, because I always learned something.
Yeah.
Nothing, no house was ever the same.
Yeah.
No trailer we ever put together was ever the same. And I don't think he meant to do that purposely. I just, believe that there's always something that you can learn from, things that you do on a daily basis. And, with everything I've experienced, that's the one thing I can always come to and be like, yep, yeah, this house is down the street. Okay. You're in for it.
All
That's
right.
how I look at it.
Okay. Which small act of kindness were you once shown that you will never forget?
August 2004, I was deployed in Iraq. And it was just, that month we really got hit pretty hard, lost a couple of people and, had been in a few incidents myself. And I had called home to my grandmother's house. She had passed April 30th that year. And I knew that I wasn't going to get anybody to answer the phone.
My God.
So I just wanted to call the number to see if anyone, I might catch somebody at the house. And my Uncle Darty was actually there in the house. And after the 10th ring, he picked up and he talked to me. And I did not know, how much that phone call would have an effect on me. I didn't know, because later on that year I experienced an even greater ordeal. But having him to pick up that phone when I was on the verge of doing something that, I still hate myself for thinking and putting it in my mind to do, but the phone call to him saved my life in more ways than one.
Wow.
Because growing up with my Uncle Darty, he was, I would say, more or less somewhat like me. He was fun loving, he would throw his feet on his nephews and nieces and wouldn't care about it. He'd take your spot for the holidays when you went to go get your food.
Yeah.
He wasn't a philosopher. He wasn't going to sit down there and, talk, things that you go about in your daily life. But that phone call to him, he put me at ease. He put me back to what I had learned growing up. And, like I said, it changed my life. And at the time I didn't know how much of an impact it would have, but ever since then, when I feel things are kind of low, I just think about doing that, and that's how I go about doing anything for anyone.
My God. I'm glad you made that phone call.
Yeah.
Glad you made that phone call.
Me too.
Which is worse, failing or never trying?
Never trying. Never trying. I say that because failing, you're always going to learn something. never trying, you're never gonna learn what you didn't know to begin with.
That's good.
You know, and yeah, I look back at some of the things that I never tried,
Yeah,
or the things that I said I was too scared to do,
yeah,
and then I was just like, okay, at that time, you know, somebody else would go do it, and they're like, oh no, yeah, it's kind of hard to do this, but you gotta do it like this. Like, perfect example, young military recruit in Colorado Springs. Okay, you don't see many black people on the slopes. But anyway, military had a weekend on the slopes, and they took us up there.
okay.
And I'm like, okay, one, are we even gonna have skis that's gonna fit my feet? Cause you know, we had trouble getting me some boots. But anyway, we got there on the slopes, and I'm just like, okay, this ain't like them 80s movies. You just don't go down a hill, you know. I'm like, oh man, you know, it looks fun.
Uh-huh.
It looks fun, but I'm scared to try.
Oh my God.
And they're just, you know, get out there, just do it, you know. And it was just like, it was no different than when my father got us 3-wheelers for Christmas. You know, it was fun. They looked amazing, but man, I'm kind of scared this thing gonna take off on me.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it did, but I loved it.
You loved it.
Loved it, yeah.
Okay. Don't know if I would have tried skiing, but all right. What is the difference
It hurt.
between living and existing?
The difference between living and existing. Well, right now, we're existing,
Mm-hmm.
right? You wake up, you go about doing what it is that you want to do. Living is taking the chances. It's like what we just talked about. Living is about like, okay, you know what? Today, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna plan. I'm just gonna, you know, today I'm gonna be happy. And sometimes being happy is taking on the things in which you know, like, okay, I may not know this, I may not have the physical attributes to accomplish this, but you know what? Forget about it. Today I'm gonna do it. Existing is sitting there looking at it and like, I'm too scared. You know, like with this COVID-19, perfect example. Some people have taken it to the extreme, like, oh, okay, now I can get away with not doing doing so much because of COVID-19, and I'm too scared to do this. I'm not even gonna shop.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like every disease out there, you know, like every disease out there, at one time or another, you know, I have hope that we will find a cure, a suitable solution to going back to our normal life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna just exist. I'm gonna continue to live
Yeah.
my life
Yeah.
because of what I've already been through
All right.
and what I want to continue to do.
Okay.
And if you're just existing, you ain't gonna get there.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. What motivates you to be your best?
My family, my childhood, my upbringing,
Yeah.
you know, my bigger little brothers and my little bigger brothers. My nieces, my nephews, you know, my mother, the memories of my father, my grandmother,
Yeah.
uncles, aunts, all that,
Family.
all that
Yeah.
family, you know, gives my life purpose. And I say that because with everywhere I've been through in the world and everyone who I've met, I am truly blessed to, you know, to be from Tulsa, Oklahoma and have the family and seeing some people who I know are, you know, they're pretty successful, you know, but when it comes to, you talk about family,
Yeah.
they get quiet. They don't want to talk about it. They've never experienced it,
You're right about it.
you know, and I'm like, man, if I was ever that uneasy talking about my family, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Because growing up, my cousins were my best friends.
Yeah.
You know, my older brother was my #1 bully, best friend at times,
At times.
at times, you know, sometimes. But the fun, the experiences, the memories that I, you know, endured with them are far more valuable to me than anything else.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Well, I truly appreciate you for taking time. I appreciate your service. You are an Army
outstanding,
And
better.
we appreciate you joining us on the chat.
You're welcome.